This was the moment when Tim Tebow was feeding his dog named Bronco for the last time, before he had to be put down. Tebow was incredibly emotional in this moment because he adopted Bronco many years ago, and has been with him through his entire career, which made this goodbye even harder. Days later, he posted a picture of him saying a prayer in front of his best friend's grave. This dad canceled their newspaper subscription over 2 years ago, but knowing how much his dog loved to grab the newspaper in the morning, he kept one that he puts on his driveway every day, so his dog can keep enjoying his morning routine of getting the paper thinking nothing changed. They live next to a school, and the kids will always sit by the fence and watch his dog named Pal. But since Pal knows he can't leave the property without his owner's permission, he stares at him just hoping he will give him permission to say hi to the kids.
Go see them, you can go.
Pal then ran right over to say hi to his little friends. This guy was waiting for his girlfriend to arrive and had everything set up to propose, when suddenly his dog got the zoomies, running around like crazy, putting on a show for everyone there, while multiple people tried to catch him to calm him down, almost like he knew what was about to happen and was so excited for the moment. He started to realize his dog was obsessed with horses, because he would stare at this picture in their house of a horse, and then when he watched Yellowstone, he would watch it non-stop, seeing all of them on the TV. So one day, he decided to take him to see a real horse, and when they finally got there, he was amazed, and wouldn't take his eye off the horses. He may have been a cowboy in his past life. This woman is opening her own vet clinic, and during construction, they were doing a concrete sidewalk that leads to the front door. So to make it unique, she decided to have her dog walk on it so his footprints would lead customers to the front, something that her dog will leave behind forever. But at the end, she didn't expect him to take off running down it. This little girl rides by his house every day on her bike and stops to say hi to his dog. But since his dog named Pal knows he can't leave the yard without his permission, he's never been able to meet her. But on this day, he happened to see this on his camera and ran to the door to tell Pal he can go see her, and he immediately ran right to her. She quickly jumped off of her bike to pet him, and were so happy to finally become friends. When these people in England were walking by, they noticed the dog was stuck in a muddy canal, and quickly tried to think of a way to get him out. So they immediately worked together by holding this man over the edge so he can grab him and lift him up to safety. The dog was even wagging his tail, so happy that they were helping, as people watching cheered. Just good Samaritans doing everything they can to save a dog's life. When his dog was put in training to be a service dog for someone, they realized he didn't like it, so he decided to take him out and adopt him, officially becoming his again. And the dog's reaction says it all, as he couldn't hold back his excitement, ready to go back home with his forever owner. When she found out the show Bluey shows only colors that dogs can see, she put it on for her dog and he instantly loved it, sitting right in front of the screen and watched the entire episode wagging his tail. An incredible thing that the show creators did to keep the dogs entertained as well. They've lived inside of an apartment for a while and would always see her dog just staring outside. But she was finally able to buy her own house, and the one thing she made sure it had was a big yard for him to play in. And this was the moment he got to run around outside of his new home for the first time, and he couldn't have been any happier. This puppy wanted to play with his cat, but unfortunately there was a fence between them. So he tried to squeeze through this fence and was able to make it most of the way in until he got stuck. The cat actually realized this and even went over to help him, sticking its arms in and trying to push him through. It actually worked and they finally got to play. She noticed this dog on her home camera a lot and started to realize he's been living on the streets in 30-degree weather. When she tried to get him, he'd always run away. So she decided to build him a little shelter outside with some food for him, and he actually stayed inside of it. She could tell he was exhausted, so she approached him hoping he would come to her, but he wouldn't move at all, until she gave up and started to walk away, and he ran right to her, not wanting her to leave. After she was petting him, he then walked right to her front door, wanting to go inside with her. Shortly after this puppy was born, she had an injury causing one of her ears to be completely gone. They took her in for surgery where they weren't sure if she was going to live, but ended up making a full recovery, leaving her with one ear. The receptionist of the hospital was so drawn to the puppy that she ended up adopting her. She then named her Ray, which was ear spelled backwards, and as the puppy got bigger, her ears started to move up to the top of her head, and that's where it stayed. They now call her Ray the Unicorn, and is living a happy and healthy life with a cool, unique look. 2 years ago, she found this dog abandoned that she named Dobby, and he was unfortunately in rough shape. He had painful itchy skin, open wounds, and no fur to keep him warm, and because of his past, he was scared of anything and everything. So she took him home and took the best care of him she could, getting him everything he needed. And this is Dobby today, looking like a whole new dog and as happy and healthy as ever, saving his life. This dog hasn't seen her in over 6 months, so they tried to see if he would recognize her if she randomly walked by on their walk. And at first he didn't, until he had to take a second look. He kept going thinking maybe he was just seeing things, but then he stopped, looked one more time, and then ran straight at her when he realized it was her. He couldn't hold back his excitement to finally see her again. Her golden retriever was at the front door crying, thinking his owner left the house, not knowing she was still there. So she snuck up on him, and this was his hilarious reaction, shocked when he saw her home. This college student had to bring his dog with him to class one day, and his dog came in super well dressed with his glasses on and was locked in for the entire lecture, just being an incredibly studious young gentleman looking like he has a perfect GPA. While this family from Michigan was visiting in Houston, Texas for a week, they randomly saw a dog just sitting in a field alone on the side of the road. When they looked around, they started to realize this dog might have been dropped off and abandoned. So the family took him in the car, got him checked and groomed, then started looking for his owners, but had no luck. Thinking it may have been fate that they found him, this family decided to take him in, but since he couldn't go on a plane, they had to drive him back all the way to their place in Michigan, making sure he has a forever home no matter what. She just got a brand new puppy and was waiting for her boyfriend to come in to surprise him with the puppy he's always wanted. And when he saw it, he was completely stunned, but not for the reason you may think.
Oh my god. Well, this is really bad timing then.
Why is it really bad timing?
This is really bad timing.
Why?
I'm so happy, but you should probably go look at my truck.
Are you kidding me?
As she walked to the truck, she was freaking out, hoping that he didn't do what she thinks he did, until she finally opened it up and saw another puppy that he just got and brought home too.
Oh my god! I'm gonna cry!
After their dog named Flossie went missing in the morning, they knew she liked going down rabbit holes where there are hundreds of them in their area. So they started searching for hours through the day and night, digging in each one, and they had no luck. They didn't give up though, and kept at it until hours later they got a call from a neighbor who thought they heard a small bark under a bush in the field next to their house. After 5 more hours of searching, they finally found her. She was alive and healthy. Flossie was stuck down there for 56 hours, and her owners were super emotional to hold her again. They said, "This is a lesson to all of us to never give up hope." When she came home to her dog that was home alone, she noticed a bottle of liquor on the ground that wasn't there before.
This is empty. This was probably more than halfway full.
And not only that, she found another bottle in the house that had more in it before she left. But when she saw her dog walk, she knew exactly what happened.
Jack, try to walk. Come on, let's go. It's not funny, but my dog is drunk and I don't know what to do about it.
She did take him to the vet and he was okay. Bosco and Sophie have been best friends for a while, but when Sophie got sick, Bosco never left her side, laying next to her through it all. But when she unfortunately passed away, Bosco was grieving the loss just like we do, crying as he sees pictures of her. Just missing his best friend.